disclaimer, this video is kind of scary, but if you don't like any of the things I said, just comment on the video. So, okay, let's just go to the video now. Okay. So today I'm gonna do some stories, and okay. So welcome to this channel, and if you want me to do more of this, subscribe. So, story 1, school lockdown. During, when I was in 2nd grade, everyone was doing work when suddenly, the lockdown alarm went off. And the teachers, they just got a notification that gunshots were heard near campus. So they immediately got up, locked the door, closed the blinds, and told everybody to get in the corner that couldn't be seen from the door window. But I don't know why, because they had black covers on the window. But after being told this, a few students started crying, and I remember just staring off into the dark, thinking I might die. But we were only in the dark for 2 hours. Then we heard cops, and they told everyone that the person had been caught with no extra details. Then we went to lunch, and everybody was talking about what happened. But after lunch, people went to the bathroom, and the inside was a bloody handprint. I was able to see a glimpse of it, but after the truth went out, the school quickly cleaned the door. To this day, I still don't know who the guy was and why they were here on campus with a gun. But all I know is that he was not friendly. So, that was probably one of the most scary days of my life. Okay, story 2, Snickers. So, when I was in, 1st grade or 2nd, I don't really remember, but during summer break, I went to Michigan to meet my mom's dad. I was always scared of this dog, Snickers. She was a herding dog, and anything that ran, she would chase after and attack. And if she didn't know you well, and you touch her, you're gonna have a bite mark for a while. Well, this was my first time being in Michigan, and I walked around all fine, but the first week being there, I was playing with Snickers with a stick, and she was fine, just side-eyeing me, like I just said, skibidi. As I was waving the stick in front of her, she jumped and bit my cheek open. But somehow, I didn't notice, just a drop of blood on my hand, and I went inside, and my grandpa was washing dishes, and he said, not crazy or startled, "You okay?" And I nodded, walked upstairs, and my mom saw me. And she screamed so loud, grabbed me, and took me to the mirror. And I saw the hole in my cheek. Man, I just started crying my eyes out, just from being scared. And then they patched it up. And to this day, I still have a tiny, barely noticeable mark on my cheek. Literally, though. That was just, scary, though. Just looking at me, I was like, I'm awkward. So, okay. Story 3, Doogie. 2024, during summer break, I was with my great-grandma, who I call Granny. Summer was about to end, and my granny found a dog and named him Doogie. I was driving over to my Nana's house, which was 2 houses away, and I was driving a golf cart. When I stopped in the backyard, brought Doogie out, when I heard barking. It was 2 Mastiffs who were the neighbor's dogs barking from the fence, and I look over, and they're digging under the fence, and they climb out, grab Doogie by the neck, and start flinging him around until the neighbors came out and stop them. I had to carry Doogie away, and he just had a mark on his neck, and they sold the dogs later, and Doogie still has a mark on his neck to this day, not gonna lie. Story 4, Hurricane. Actually, a week after this happened, during the Florida storm, I'm pretty sure if that's when it happened, but Georgia was getting hit by it. Well, I don't know if it was, but it was getting not as bad though. Well, I was in my room at my Nana's house, aka my grandma, who was around 50. But I was in my room calling my dad because I hadn't talked to him for a while because it was during summertime, and I was in my room calling my dad, right? And when strikes of lightning hit outside my house, not out in my backyard, but didn't catch anything on fire, I don't think. And then it started pouring down hard. Like my window was practically leaking. And somehow I would just start, I could just like watch a house about like a family and their house got flooded, like the basement. And then, what happened next? So then, I'm pretty sure I said bye, hung up, and then I went to the living room and looked outside, to which I saw branches and parts of trees getting thrown around. And I told my Nana, oh my gosh, I think this is a tornado. And everybody looked around at me and said, nah, it's not. And then it also started hailing, and then an hour later it stopped. We went outside and we saw trees topped and broken, full trees knocked over near the golf course that we live right next to. And then like all the exits on the road in the town were blocked, only one left. And we drove around in the golf cart, took a look at the damage, and it was bad, like really bad. But when we were coming back, we saw in the backyard of my granny's house was a giant tree knocked over that took the power box out of her house and made a little hole in her roof of her house. But around 3 weeks later, we were able to fix it and all that stuff. But to this day, I knew that was a tornado. Like, bro, there's no shot that's not a tornado. Story 5. 2 snows in 1. This is like a song. Now, last year, at my regular house that I live in right now, my dad's house, so I was at, like, it was a usual day during winter, like 2 inches of snow, but randomly during the night, everyone got a notification on, like, their iPads, phones, and computers that a huge snowstorm was coming in, and we woke up to the next day to snow taller than me, and during that time, I was, like, 7. Right now I'm like 4'10" though, and my dad was up all day shoveling, and the power's out for like a week. But then it came back on. But the next story, oh my gosh, that was crazy. So when I was in like kindergarten, pretty much all of my dad's brothers and kids and like family was over, but they were way taller than me, like in college, and a huge snowstorm laid in, like, one as big as, like, laid in, like, it was, like, as big, the snow was, like, 6 feet tall. And during the storm, we were all fine, and so, bang, the house started shaking like an earthquake and stopped. And the power went out. We all looked outside, and a 70-foot tall tree, pretty much, on our yard had been knocked over, and then the power was out for like a month, and we missed a lot of school, thankfully. And to this day, it's still outside my house. So that was like 5 stories, but if you want me to do any other stories, like these were just scary stories, to my opinion, but yeah. Yeah. So, so we had the story of the school lockdown. Snickers! Oh, yeah, I totally forgot. She was, I forgot to, I actually skipped something. I'm pretty sure, yeah. So, the dog, it bit my cheek open, and then there was just a drop of blood on my hand. So I forgot to say that. I don't know how I forgot, though. It's still on my cheek, bro. So, yeah. If you want me to do more stories, like, I don't know, weird stories, crush stories, if you want me to read my books, because I make, like, books, I'm actually making one, like, right now. It's called The Last Horizon, but yeah, if you want me to read those, like, just subscribe. If I can get to 500 subscribers and start getting paid and stuff, I will read my books. But if you guys comment enough, if I get enough comments for this, I will definitely read my books. Okay? So, it's been a nice one, Everybody, goodbye.